Hi everyone, how are you doing? Happy, what is today? Wednesday, yes. Welcome to Facts and Two Cents. This is Polo. I hope you are all doing well. Um, as you know, we are a channel that supports the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Harry, Meghan, Archie, Baby Lily, Mama Doria, Poola, Guy, the chickens, the Invictus community, all of us here at Sussex Squad. Hello everyone. So as I pull this music down slowly, I'm trying to sort of be a little gentle about it and sort of just yanking everything down. All right, there we go. All right. Thank you guys so much for coming on and hanging out with me. I know it's a little bit late, and it's a little bit late for some of our squaddies who are in the UK. So any of our UK squaddies who are here, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. Let's see. You know, we have right now, I know I have a bit of a lag, but it says 75 of our closest friends are here hanging with us. So let me see who's in the chat. I see moderator Lydia, moderator Karen M. Hello, Karen M and Lydia. Church Nelly is here as well. Hello, Church Nelly. I was like running into Church Nelly's right away into Church Nelly's post. Fancy is here. Fancy. Dory, Rosa. Scrolling down. Patricia is here. Hang on one second. Let me get rid of this one. There we go. I have a bit of a lag on this thing, so let's see who else is here. Cookies and Cream. Our other moderator, Cookies and Cream, is here. Hello, Cookies and Cream. And Andrea is here. Hello. And let's see who else is here. And so far, this is our crew right now. So hopefully more of our friends will join us. I see we're up to 108 of our closest, bestest and closest. Many are not in the chat at the moment, but that's okay. You are listening, and I'm happy you're here hanging out with me on a Wednesday night. Or you know, if you're in California, it's just, you know, it's 5 o'clock in the evening. So yeah. But yeah, anyways, not a whole lot has happened today. Yeah, everybody has been pretty quiet. I'm assuming our faves are back wherever they are today, maybe back in California. I'm assuming you didn't hear anything about them being in New York today. So I'm assuming they flew back, and, you know, thank God for us safe travels that, you know, I think we're all still kind of coming down from a high of them being here, and so exciting to have them here. I love them in New York. They're just like regular New Yorkers. And I just love that. I posted in the community page, one of our squaddies, I think from my Duke and I podcast, who saw Meghan, and she, I think one of the news channels picked it up. And so she was very excited. I think Meghan drove by and pulled her window down. Meghan always has her window down. Pulled her window down and waved to her, I guess. And so I put it in the community page. So if you wanted to take a look at it, it's over there. So yeah, other than that, it's just everyone just having their many opinions about Prince Harry's speech yesterday. It's just like, you know, I had to like sort of put somebody in their place yesterday. I was like, dude, you know, this white Jewish American guy, it's like trying to decide, you know, trying to be like, you know, Prince Harry had no right to be at the UN speaking about Nelson Mandela. I was like, you better stay out of Black people's business. I was like, stay out of Black people's business. Like, you, American Jewish person, would be telling a Black South African, you know, foundation, Nelson Mandela Foundation, who they should be inviting to speak. That is none of your business. So I hadn't heard back from him. So I'd be like, you don't do that. You know, who they invited is who they invite. It's not your business. Stay out of Black people's business. So I'm like, some people just have some nerve, you know, and I've seen that, you know, quite a few people. And again, you know, it's not a white or black thing, but there are certain situations that there are certain place spaces and certain things that, y'all need to learn your places. You need to understand where you are in situations that you don't have the right to be, yeah, I guess you could, anybody could speak on any issue, but there are certain things where you can't be, be trying to come after a black company inviting someone who's coming to speak on their, I mean, hello, really? So and sometimes we just got to learn and read a room and sort of just learn where we fit into some things. Sometimes we just need to take a seat and just listen. So that just got my back up. It's like, don't you tell black people what we should be doing and what we should not be doing. That's just, I mean, if you want to get me riled, that would be about it. So I was a little bit maybe not the nicest person when I saw that, and my post was not the nicest, I don't think. But I just had to be like, no, that this is not your place. You need to take a seat on that one. So, but anyways, but yeah, there are a bunch of different people giving commentary. Of course, anything coming out of Shutter Island, we know. Well, yeah, we know where that would go. And they were, even I think Nelson Mandela's grandson, I guess, or nephew or something, nephew, I think it was, commented on it. Oddly enough, he was on Piers Morgan's show. I was about to read it, then I realized where he was, and I was like, never mind. I don't even want to know. And I don't think, from what I understand, he wasn't negative about it, but he was just basically commenting about it. But the very fact that where he went to talk about it, I was like, oh no, I don't even want to know. I just don't want to know. But overall, I mean, the vast majority of intelligent people has overwhelmingly positive review of Harry's speech. I mean, anybody with any, any kind of a brain would see, what he was conveying. And again, he was, they asked him to speak on certain issues. And of course, some people are like, how could he speak about climate change and he's flying in a jet? And I was like, it is such for me, just one of those cheap, low-hanging fruit to go after Harry and Meghan. It's like one of the lowest hanging fruit. I mean, come up with something original. So, but it was just, there's just been a myriad of opinions about the speech. But I think that's actually a good thing, because if everybody loved it, then maybe, you know what I mean? Because this kind of speech is, is there. So you have all these different opinions. That means it had an impact, and so millions of people saw it. And one of the things that people were commenting about is, oh, well, the UN, the space was just so few people. And it's like, well, yes, they're kind of partly on summer break, partly there, someone mentioned that probably also COVID restrictions. I don't know the reasoning behind any of that stuff. But I know, I think it's, whatever it was, the online audience and the people who were watching online and wherever else they watch was in the millions, so that is, someone on one of our squaddies posted, I will bring it up. Yeah. One of our squaddies posted this, and I'm going to move away this banner that is really huge. And yep. They posted the, here are the views here. Oh, let's do it this way. Okay, there we go. Just for these, oh, wait, wrong one. Sorry. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Okay. Just for these two news outlets, it's, one has like 1.8 million views, the other 1.5 million views, and that's just these two outlets. So you can only imagine the others, what their views were. I didn't go, searching out, but one of our wonderful squaddies posted this today. I was like, oh, wow. I wasn't even paying attention to the online views. And it was like, yeah, millions of people around the world were watching this. This is, and that's why you want the Sussexes in these kind of spaces because they draw people's attention. And so this kind of message needed someone who had this kind of platform. So for me, I just think it was a fantastic win all around for the Nelson Mandela Foundation, for Prince Harry, for just honoring President Mandela. And for me, I just think it was a fantastic win all the way around, no matter, and again, different opinions are great. So no matter if people no matter if people agree with it or not. Sylvia, I'm just jumping the chat for a second. Sylvia said, Petal, I read the Mandela nephew or grandson, whichever, going on Piers Morgan's gossip show. It appears the guy did not know Harry was even speaking at the UN. I wonder how much they paid him. And that's the thing. I wouldn't be surprised if they pay, because the Piers Morgan show is tanking and he needs something. And, again, Harry and Meghan is big business, and especially slagging off on them, is really big business. And so I wouldn't be surprised, from what I understood. Yeah, I don't think he said anything negative. I'm sure they were trying to spin whatever he says, as we know the British press will do. But yeah, this was the minute I saw where he was doing the interview, I was like, never mind, I don't even want to know. I walked away from it. I didn't even bother reading, so Wendy Lohman says the UN General Assembly meets in September. For now, it's a summer break. That is why the attendance is small at the UN, but huge on social media. It's so funny because I'm hearing two schools of thought on that. There is a session of the General Assembly. Apparently, one of our squaddies produced some evidence, and I didn't know I would have needed it, or I would have just brought it into this presentation. But apparently it's the session is still on. It might just be limited amount of people there, and I know a new session definitely starts in September. So yeah. But for whatever reason, the UN Secretary General was there, the Deputy Secretary General were there, ambassadors were there, the mayor was there. So they're the people that needed to be there. And then, all the people that were there were invited to come. And so these were invited guests to be there. And of course, the Nelson Mandela Foundation and all of those, they were all there celebrating and, there to honor President Mandela. So I think no matter what the Shutter Island and all their mess were saying, all in all, it was a win for everyone, because again, the online audience, those of us in plus, it was just so wet a couple of days ago that it's just like, ugh, probably most people probably saw the weather and they're like, I don't think so. Thierry says Harry's brilliant speech was watched worldwide by millions. That's quite a reach. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's the reach. It's like, and I think that's why people, especially those that want and wish ill of them, get so upset, because you see the others and nobody care. Nobody care. And then you have Prince Harry, the sixth in line, who, has left, and he has this kind of reach, and I want to say no, without even trying, but the UN is, no matter what, is a big deal. And so, yeah, people want to know, no matter who criticize in whatever way, people want to know and want to listen and want to hear. People want to hear what Harry and Meghan, when they speak, what they have to say. No matter, some people like, they're just lecturing us. I was like, well, shut off your computer, then you wouldn't get lectured. And if you feel lectured, maybe you need the lecturing. So shut up and just listen. I have no patience for that kind of thing, actually. So yeah, Church Nelly, absolutely, it was awesome. It touched on so many things, and and again, he spoke about what the Nelson Mandela Foundation asked him to speak about. So his speech was, based on what they asked him. They were very specific, food insecurity, climate change. And I think what was the other one? I think the other one was social justice, I guess. I don't remember the other point that they asked him to speak about. So a lot of times people write about these things and they don't know the backstory. Like, he didn't just come up with this. He was asked to speak on this topic. So, and who better, I mean, especially with climate change stuff, I mean, the guy has travelers, so it's just like, yeah, I think he's qualified, no matter what you think, to speak on that subject. Joan says that there's no other session in the UN today. Different folks were there for different reasons. Oh, okay. There you go. Thank you, Joan. And I mean, it's summer again, it definitely the formal sessions, definitely we're going to have a session in September. So whatever is going on there might be all informal. And even when they were doing the write-up the other day from the UN, they were saying that it is just in name only that it's formal, but it was the beginning of the South Africa portion of the assembly. So even though it was just termed informal in that it is summertime and the big one, I guess, is starting in September, that's just the name only. It is a very important meeting. So again, of course, it is President Mandela, so of course it is important. And I love the UN Secretary General, the Deputy Secretary General, Amina Mohammed. She wrote about this, and I love this. What she said about let's get this up. Yeah. She says, let us honor Nelson Mandela's legacy by taking action, speaking out against hate, standing up for human rights, embracing our common humanity, making our world more just, compassionate, prosperous, and sustainable for all. And I love that, because a lot of this is what Harry talked about. And so I think that is kind of the theme for the Nelson Mandela celebration, is the honor, and for the Nelson Mandela Foundation. So I think all of this, we heard all of this in Prince Harry's speech yesterday. So, but I love how she, she put it there. Let's just honor him in this way. And a big thing is also taking action, in whatever way we can. So I absolutely love this. Cookies and Cream says, Prince Harry is a true statesman. That is why the unroyals and the racist dogs are so unhinged. They know he has a global appeal, and New York City trip was a huge success. The Sussexes are a power couple. Absolutely. I mean, if they had no relevance, nobody would care, right? I mean, you think of the others, nobody care what they do. I mean, and if you think about this year, Harry and Meghan are not the first people at the UN this year. We had another one. Ford Fiesta was at the UN, and nobody cared. She was here and literally took Arthur, the son. I guess he's the son photographer. She literally took him to New York with her. That's the only reason we knew that Sophie was here. Nobody cared. New Yorkers had no idea who this person is, and nobody cared. No news coverage of her at all. So if it wasn't for her own photographer, nobody would be no pictures of Sophie Fiesta. So Ford Fiesta. So let's see. Staying in the chat for a bit. What you guys talking about? Oh my Lord, we're speaking violence here, George Nelly. George Nelly's like, oh no, did wifey hit you with a frying pan? We're having violent conversation in the chat. Oh my goodness. Mara, hi Mara. Mara says, Harry's letting the world know how great and inspiring Mandela was. I mean, absolutely. I heard one person saying that it wasn't uplifting, and it was like, and I'm like, Harry is not here to cheerlead for you. You listen to his words. He's not here to be like rah rah and make things, especially the fact that there were some people talking about they were upset that he was talking about there are fires in Europe, and it's just like yeah, even royal reporters were upset about that. There was like, yeah, and then what happens yesterday? London was burning, and it's like, yeah, well, Prince Harry just talked about that, and it's unreal how, to see exactly what he talked about is exactly what's happening. Sometimes I'm like, dude, you're prophetic. I mean, Jerry's like prophesying here. So let's see who else. Let's see. Scrolling down before. Hi, Kate. It's like, hey, Paddle. Hello, Kate. How are you doing? Welcome to the chat. Karen Warner. Hi, Karen. Karen says the Prime Minister of Barbados, my fave, Prime Minister Mia Mottley, will be speaking in South Africa at a ceremony in South Africa celebration. In South Africa, celebrating Mandela, I think this weekend or next. Oh my gosh, it's so funny because I was thinking about, someone mentioned on Twitter, and the thing is, the article came through the Daily Mail, so I will not even touch it. But the apparently they, and again, the Sussexes did not respond to this, so I am assuming this might be fake, so take this with a grain of salt. I am not putting any credibility, anything to this, but this is what was said, like that they're working with the Mandela Foundation, doing something. I don't know what that something is, but I was thinking about it today, and I was like, oh my goodness, wouldn't it be funny if Harry and Meghan, after leaving New York, went off to South Africa and doing work in South Africa. And the next thing we hear, because it's summer, it was like, next thing we hear, they're off in South Africa. So when I saw your post, Karen, it's just like, oh, that would be so fantastic if Harry and Meghan would be there and hanging out with Prime Minister Mia Mottley, my fave. So, that's just my thinking and just my, fantasy scenario. But I just think that would be amazing. Everyone loves Mia Mottley. She is the star of Leaders right now, and I hope that stays. She is like, everyone wants her to be there because she is such a go-getter, take action, and very bluntly honest person that I think a lot of people are not used to that kind of honesty. And she does not care. She doesn't care what space she's in. She will just tell you straight. And I think people are appreciating that. I definitely appreciate that. That's kind of me. I definitely appreciate people who are like that. So so my fantasy is that Harry and Meghan will be in South Africa with be a part of this. That would be amazing. And if nothing else, it will send Shutter Island over the cliff. So at least the media and the royal family over a cliff. So I'm all for that. Lottie G says, if these folks don't care about Harry and Meghan, I wonder why they follow them. I don't like William and Kate, so I don't follow them. Lottie, this is just too sensible. These people have no common sense whatsoever. They hate follow everything. They know more about what's going on with Harry and Meghan than probably Harry and Meghan. Because it's like, I don't know why you would follow people that you hate. I really have no idea. It's like, yep, it's a mystery. I think so squaddies need to do some investigating as to why people are that crazy. It's like, why follow around someone that you hate? Let's see. Okay, so let's see. Wendy is letting us know about the UN General Assembly meets annually for regular sessions from September to December. Okay, thank you so much, Wendy. So I guess we look out for them when they come back into session in September. Thank you so much. Always wonderful to have a knowledgeable community. Sylvia says, but it's an interesting point Harry made as when he said, most of my work is in Africa. Yeah, interesting and true. Yeah, a lot of it is in Africa. So he has Africa Parks. He has Senibali. He works with Camp Fed. What else does he have there again? I forgot his other stuff that he has there. But yeah, his heart is Africa. So for those people who are coming at Harry, most of them do nothing and have no connection to Africa, yet they're coming to some and going after someone who has been doing this since he was, barely out of his teens. So it's like, people, educate yourself before you come and speak. And definitely, again, stay out of Black people's business. And oh yes, Harry is our light-skinned brother. So there. Just so people know. Joy says the royal family will have a heart attack if Harry goes to South Africa with Mia Motley to celebrate Nelson Mandela Day. I am all for that. I would love that for them, Joyce. I'm sorry. I would really love that for them. I would love for them all to just go out of their minds. I am really here for that. So yes, let them do it. More than ever, I want to see Harry and Meghan there. And wouldn't it be fantastic if they go there and then they announce that they're working in partnership with Nelson Mandela Foundation? I mean, slap, bam. I mean, hello. Maybe this is violence on my part. Maybe this is just a little much, but I'm so over it that I'm like, I just want my faves to win. So there. Let's see. Kara says, love the Prime Minister of Barbados. He was powerful, and her and Prince Harry get on well. She agreed with Prince Harry's speech on climate change he gave years ago. Said Prince Harry gets it. Exactly. She was also in agreement with him when he gave the speech about the Commonwealth, and that people need to, basically own up to their past and really revisit what happened before we can move on. She also was in agreement with Harry when everyone else was like, well, not everyone else, just Shutter Island, were like, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Mia Motley was the one that was like, yeah, no, Harry knew exactly what he was talking about. So yeah. Marsha says the royal family needs some heart attacks. They shun our faves. Now they are living their best lives. Exactly. I mean, I'm all for that. Let them fall over a cliff. I am all for it. They do it on the daily anyway. So, people's would be pulling their pearls, all their eyebrows and eyelashes would be raised, and all the other nonsense that they tend to, put when Sussexes literally breathe. I'm all for it. Let them go. So, Curtis says, I saw the comment on the Sussexes working with Mandela. Not sure where I saw the comment. Yeah, it was on it was on Twitter. And then I realized, I read it, not realizing, because they didn't put, when I saw the screenshot of it, they didn't say where it came from. It was just a quote. And then when I read it, and I got to a part where it talked about, don't know if they took a private jet. I was like, wait a minute. This sounds like Daily Mail language. And sure enough, it was. I left that alone. I was like, oh no, I'm not believing. If the Sussexes have not confirmed it or spoken about it, I am just going to assume it's lies, or, I'll just wait for them to say something when they are ready. So yeah. So let's see. Well, let's move on and see what else I have on here. So yeah, so Omid Scobie today wrote an article about it's so funny. Normally his article comes out on Tuesday, and then it wasn't there. And I'm like, so I DM'd him like, where's your article? It's like, oh, you noticed? I'm like, yeah, I was waiting for it. So his article popped up. His article is like, so now it's going to be on Wednesdays instead of the normal Tuesdays. So he wrote about it. And so here are just a little bit of snippets of that article. The spare, and he named it Spare Air Harry's, achieved his dream life and proved the palace critics wrong. So some of the snippets, he says, standing in front of the United Nations General Assembly to lead a keynote speech for Nelson Mandela International Day, it was clear to see just how far Prince Harry has come. He goes on to say it was the highlight of the whistle stop visit to New York for the Duke and wife Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, which also including meetings with the Deputy General of the UN, Amina Mohammed, who I love, and prolific social justice advocates. And that was the thing. I wasn't sure if they were meeting with other people and what that entailed. So I was happy to see they did that. Going further, it says, honestly, he's setting, before we even get to that quote, this quote is talking about when Harry and Meghan were leaving, the palace were up in arms. They basically thought they were, going to fall on their face. Pretty much no one agreed with the decision. They didn't think they will make it. They really just were like, they can't live without the without the palace. They can't live. They can't be successful without us, basically. And so Scobie was talking to a very senior palace aide, and the palace aide said to him, honestly, Prince Harry, he's setting himself up to fail. A very senior aide told me in early 2020, without this, it's impossible, he continued, gesturing to the walls of Buckingham Palace. Scobie goes on to say major contracts, since Harry and Meghan moved, and how they are doing like major contracts with digital coaching platforms, BetterUp, Netflix, and Spotify. His own podcast series is on the horizon. Yes, Harry. Have also seen Harry remain true to his promise that any commercial endeavors he commits to will still be rooted in a desire to help others and illuminate unheard stories. Going further, he says his forthcoming memoir, which is now finished and has completed legal checks, will no doubt invite he's talking about, invite some scrutiny and media and, crazy press. And even if, as sources have told me over the past year, it doesn't include much reported attacks on his family, which I'm not surprised about. I mean, Harry is not here to attack people. He's not here to, trash his family, as people like to believe. This is really, like he said, it's something that's going to be uplifting. It's something that's going to be talking about his life, from childhood to now, and the things that he's learned and the ways he's been able to grow. And I think that's me thinking about it, would want him to drop hammers on them because of what they've done. But knowing Harry, that's not his thing. And then especially, dealing, in the space that he is in right now, it's more about, yes, we'll speak the truth, but let's see how we can grow and how we can learn from it and do better. So for me, looking at this, that's probably the angle he's probably going to come. Again, we don't know what is in Harry's book, but I love the fact that Scobie talked about the fact that, I guess after Meghan's podcast, Harry has his own coming. We know that he does have the Invictus Game documentary coming out, or documentary series coming out. And his book, his memoir, is now complete. A few weeks ago, the press was going crazy about it's going to be this delayed and all of this stuff. And it's like now Scobie got some scoop that it's completed. It's also completed its legal checks, which, it has to go through to make sure nobody can sue him in any way. And so they, any book, I guess, will go through those checks. And now it's just there ready and waiting to just be delivered. And so maybe they'll do a Beyonce and just drop it whenever. And just the moment when we're not looking, maybe that's when they'll drop it. But, I just think kudos. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to get my hands on that memoir. I cannot wait to hear his podcast. I mean, I am going to guess the podcast may be about mental health and the military, especially. Yes. All of it. But again, there was all this question about, if the book will be delayed. Although Penguin Random House were like, just because it's not on it's not on the list doesn't mean it's going to be delayed. So here again, we're finding out from Omid, and I'm glad it was Omid that got it. Other reporters are just so nasty in Shutter Island, so I'm glad he's the one that got that scoop. That it's done, legal checks are done, and then it's just waiting for to be released. And so I am just like, yes. So yeah, I love it. But I also, really, I could only imagine Prince Harry and Meghan when they were leaving, and uh, just a negativity that people really don't believe you could survive outside palace walls. And it's just like, it's, and the more I think about it, it's like it's a small island mentality, where it's like, you're in a small island, and so you have that mentality, you really literally can't think beyond that, beyond your environment. You really don't know, or not that you don't know, it's like you really don't believe that literal people can actually survive outside of that and thrive. You would think so many actors from the UK leave and come to the US and make, their living, and get jobs, and become millionaires and all of those things. You would think they would know, and know better, but so many still have that mentality. And obviously the palace, courtiers in the palace have that mentality, to even have the nerve to be saying, he's setting himself up to fail, and that he that Harry, it's impossible to thrive or to succeed without the palace, and without, these walls. And I was like, oh my gosh, can you just imagine just thinking that, and then saying that out loud? It's just such a small, it's like tiny island mentality. I mean, and I would hope other islands don't have, honestly, the majority of, and I'm from an island, everyone have this, and I guess that's where I got my just big imagination of beyond, just things beyond the island, and opportunities beyond the island, and seeing such a big, and it's like, there's no one there just have that any kind of imagination that there is, I mean, there's a wider world out there where you can really thrive. It is scary, and I think that's why so many just end up staying in that family and just sitting there and begging for a living. You think all of those stragglers that are in, the royal family, that the queen support or Prince Charles support, whatever, and they're probably getting pennies because they have to beg for their living, because they just don't believe that they can survive outside the palace. And so, so kudos to Prince Harry for getting out, for Princess Eugenie, Princess Eugenie, she lived in New York for a little bit, way before. So now she is out again. Kudos for her, for doing that. But it's just, it's unreal to me. But anyways, let's see what you guys say. Oh, V Thomas, welcome. Thank you so much, V Thomas, our new 2 Cents Crew member. Thank you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, you go. Thank you. Let's see what y'all saying about. Marsha, let's see what Marsha's saying. I wonder how many bets were placed on Harry and failing. I'm assuming that's what you mean. Failing and returning to Narnia. I would assume the whole lot of them would be betting. I would assume that is an overriding opinion, feeling. I would assume that's how they all were. I mean, that bled out into a lot of the public and definitely in the press. That's why they're so desperate for them to fail, because they've sold that narrative to people that Harry and Meghan will fail. And so now they have to do everything to fulfill on that narrative that they are failing at just about every day. And so now they're like angry. Now they're like, well, now, Harry and Meghan, they're desperate for the everything, all their Netflix deal to go, for Netflix to quit their deal with Harry and Meghan, for their Spotify deal to go, blow up. I mean, it's just everything. They're desperately trying for this narrative to be fulfilled, that Harry and Meghan are failures, and they're going to be failures. So, I mean, it's unreal, this kind of small-mindedness that and so many people, they have fed this narrative to, that they really believe that they can't survive without this. And I think that's why so many of them still bow down to unelected officials in those palaces. Mercedes, hi Mercedes, says, are you still waiting for Harry to dump on his family? For Harry to do that would just show people that he's the same as they, and he's not. And that's the thing. They're desperately wanting him to dump on him. Honestly, I don't want, I'm not here for him dumping on them or, but I am here for him speaking truth and speaking, what, and I would assume, if he's telling his life story, then there are literal things that has happened that I'm sure he will address. I mean, the way he was treated, the way his own father treated him, basically selling him out to the press and all of those things. I would assume he would address those things. And so, yeah, he doesn't need to dump on them and blast them. All he needs to do is tell the truth, and that is enough, because what they did was awful. What they did was child abuse. What they're still doing to kids in the royal family is abuse. It's child abuse. The way they are using those children is child abuse. And so that's all Harry needs to be, that's all that's needed in there. It's the absolute truth. So, yeah. But they are definitely of the narrative that Harry is going to slam them. He's going to do this. And that's because that's who they are, And frankly, if he slammed them, he would have every right to do it. He would have every right to do that. So, yeah. Nash says, hi, Squatties Pedal. Thank God I caught you before you go into bed. Oh, I'm sorry I'm keeping you up, Nash, but I'm happy you're here. And if you need to jump off and get your Z's, I totally understand. I absolutely totally understand. Maggie says, Harry book is already sold out and it's not even on the market yet. I'm telling you, us squatties are going to be fighting each other. I'm sorry. I am first in line. I don't know about y'all, but I'll be first in line and y'all have to fight me. You have to seriously fight me. But I am very excited. I am so happy he's able to do that. And again, that's why they are coming after them so much, trying to, claim that they're lying and all of those things, because they know when Harry's book come out, that will squash a lot of money for a lot of royal reporters and their stories. I don't know why I'm having so much problems with my throat lately. It is so dry all the time. But they are just doing everything. I mean, the most to try to just brand them, all kinds of things, to just basically not have people believe what he says in his memoir. And I'm telling you, a lot of people are going to lose a lot of money because then they can't lie anymore. They can't make up stories about him when he's already told us the deal. So, but Mira says, Harry said the book wasn't about him as a prince, but as a man he has become. I think was a prince and then the man he became or something. I don't remember the full quote. I'll have to go back and read. I think you might be right. It's not, yeah. If anybody remembers the quote exactly, maybe put it in the chat so that we can all remember what specifically Harry said. But in my mind, I thought it was not just as a prince, but also as a man he became, or something to that effect. I don't remember the full quote. R.R. Carter says, personally, I would love to see a chapter in his book on keeping them royal family firm accountable and name names, call them out. But I know that's just me wishing. I'm telling you, I think we're all wishing those things. I think, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't say all, because that'll be speaking for you guys, and I don't want to be doing that. I know for me, I would love to see him name names in some of those things, but a lot of those things, I'm sure he probably won't. He wants to be sensitive in certain situations, especially if it's something, say, I don't know, the Queen. He would try to protect her as much as possible because we know his relationship with her. Although I don't know why, but he loves his grandma. And whatever we may think about her, whatever I may think about her, he loves her and will try to protect her. And so I think in a lot of ways, he may try to not name names, as they did with that person who was concerned about Archie's skin color. So yeah. And let's see, and this just jumped away from me. Anne Lewis, hello Anne. Anne says the royal family are figureheads to the firm and military organizations. The family must do as they are told and follow orders. Harry lived in the real world and sees the wrongs and wanted out. Exactly. They can't do what they want to do. As Harry said when Oprah asked him, doesn't the queen get to do? He's like, not really. You know, there are things she needs to follow just because she's queen. She's not the one in power. I mean, she's technically the queen, but she's not the one who has the say so of what to do. The royal family is owned. As much as influence that they have, they are also owned and have to do what their government and all these other organizations say for them to do. So yeah. And again, also the press. Anya 13 Paul, hi Anya, says Harry's book is going to prove that they are a useless group of people. They pretend to be best observers and trainers in the world. Yeah, I mean, we don't need Harry's book to know that that's a useless bunch. We don't even need Harry's book to tell us that, but some people might. But if you're a squatty, we don't, we know that. We've been new, as the squatty phrases, we've been new. Beverly has the phrase. She says, not as a prince, but as a man he has become. So, okay, there you go. I stand corrected. It's not as the book is about him, not as a prince, but as a man he has become. Okay, thank you, Beverly, for that. Again, a knowledge of a community. I love it. Raven. Hi, Raven. Raven says he doesn't have to name names because what does that mean? Oh, because I guess they will expose themselves. Look at Oprah interview. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They will out themselves because, they just don't have the wisdom to know when to stay quiet, I guess. It's we're very much not a racist family. Yeah, right. So yeah, they will definitely out themselves. And if not, their press will out them eventually. So, and look for a lot of this before the memoir drops. Around when they think it's gonna drop, look for this behavior. They will start outing themselves. The press will start saying things to get ahead, to jump ahead of anything they think is in the book. So yeah, it's unreal. Lottie, we're not talking about that person's book on here, so yeah, we're not talking about him. So we're gonna bypass that one. Harry's book is gonna prove how many losers working for the kingdom. Absolutely, absolutely. And so, and that's why again they're all like upset, and all eyebrows are raising, pearls are clutching, knickers are twisting, and all the other things they do on Shutter Island. Yeah, that's why they're all going crazy right now. So let's see. Let's jump ahead and see what else we got. Can I just tell you, I love Baron. I just love Baron. I saw Baron's I saw this today and I almost fell out laughing. I'm like, I have to. So I'm sure that you guys were on his show today, maybe in the chat, his live today. I wasn't there. I was, teaching. And so I came on Twitter. This is one of the first things I saw one previous that didn't have all the X's and the check marks. And then I came back later and I saw this. And I was like, oh my gosh, Baron, only Baron would come and have the humor to do this. I just think this is priceless. I'm like, and if you look at what he wrote above each of them, Prince Charles, you haven't, and this is people who have spoken at the UN. Prince Charles, you haven't, with a big question mark. Camilla, you shouldn't, with the X. Only the Queen, Meghan, and Harry have spoken at the US and the UN, and William is you ain't, and Kate, you can't. I just love this. I just was cracking up. I'm like, only Baron would come up with this, and I just think it's just priceless. So absolutely. W Ed, hi W Ed, says Paddle, put a bowl of water by your AC. It's probably the air is. Oh, that's what it is. Oh, my AC. I threw out my AC. When we were renovating, I threw it out. And then I threw it out, but we put it out so somebody else could take it. Because I don't really like AC. So it was literally just there and I wasn't using it. So we put it outside and I only have my fan. Now I need the AC. Okay, now I know. So maybe I have to figure out another way to get my air, to get some moisture in the air, because that's probably why. Because every time I talk now, it's like I'm having problems with my throat and it's just weird. So I'm always like, I always am having to sip water all the time, so then it doesn't completely go out. So thank you so much. Great advice. And now I have to figure out how to do that without an AC. It's like, oops, maybe I should have kept my AC. Let's see. Let's see. Joy says the press will be out. The press will out the royal family in order to get ahead of what the book might say. Yeah, which is exactly what I think is going to happen. They are going to try desperately to get ahead. We saw the royal family try to get ahead of the Oprah Winfrey interview with the fake bullying thing. So, one would think they would learn their lesson, but these people are so dumb. I'm sure they're probably not. They're going to probably do something stupid again like that. One would hope that they would, but I probably not. But yeah, definitely the press is going to try to get ahead of it. And I'm happy that Harry is not, they're not saying when, Penguin Random House is not saying when this just going to drop, because, if they say when, they're going to do a dump. The press is going to do a dump like they did just before the Oprah interview, when they were like, I don't know, 50, 60 articles from each of those tabloids per day before the Oprah interview. That was just, oh my goodness, that was beyond anything that anybody have. I mean, that was just ridiculous. So if they know when this is going to come out, they would do exactly the same thing. So I'm glad to see that Penguin Random House is, at least for now, they are not saying a word. So yeah. Angela says you need a humidifier. Oh, okay. Actually, I have a Oh, Petal. What am I doing? I have a humidifier. Okay. There you go. Thank you, guys. You see, this is why we have a community. That would be like I'm sitting here wondering, why is my throat bothering me? And I have a humidifier and I'm just not using it. This is actually not the warm one. This is the cold one. So it actually gives out cool air. And I wasn't even thinking. It's just like buried somewhere. And I was like, wasn't even thinking about it. So thank you reminding me about my humidifier or my cool air thing. Oh, wait. Sorry, Trish Nelly. There was another one I was trying to get. Oh, yes. Baron is so messy. Love it. I mean, I just loved it. This is only when I saw it, I was like, only Baron would come. I'm like, this is why my mother loves Baron. Only Baron would come up with something like this. I just absolutely loved it. It definitely made my afternoon. I was laughing like crazy when I saw it. I would have never come up with something like that. Hi, Cynthia Ashton. Cynthia says, "Hi, Petal. Hope all doing well. I read the commentary on Harry, which was brilliantly written. I was smiling ear to ear when I read it. Please check it out if you haven't. Peace." Which commentary are we talking about, Cynthia? Let me know in the chat which commentary you mean, and I will definitely check it out. I love to. Anything about Prince Harry and Meghan, I am right there to read. Let's see. Anya says the great men are losing sleep over Harry's book because they know what they did to him. Yes, absolutely. A lot of them, apart from the gray men, or at least the men in gray suits, are, because again, what are you going to do? Harry's one of those. Harry's a truth teller. It's just who he is. He's just going to say what the truth is. And so, yeah, unreal. But anyway, moving on. I saw this today and it was just very interesting because we were talking so much about Prince Harry and his poise and just, the speech. And so I saw this today and I was like, oh, well, this is interesting. This site called Poise that says Prince Harry has really transformed as a public speaker. Now he really commands the room with his even-keeled pace, inclusive language, and minimal filler words. Poise score 89 out of 100. I was like, oh, never heard of Poise before. And if you look at the bottom, it says, hi there. We help you speak with clarity and confidence. Poise is an AI-powered communication coach for online meetings. And I was like, oh, I wonder if Harry may have used them. I don't know. Maybe not. But maybe they just saw it and they just thought, oh, well, that's what we do. Let's just rate his speech. So Harry passed. He's rated 89 out of 100, which is awesome. And I love the fact how they talked about how calm he was and how even keeled and how he commanded the room. There was nothing panicky about anything he did. And it was fantastic. So look at that. So who knows? And when I saw it, I was like, oh, maybe maybe he got some, a little bit of coaching from Poised. Who knows? But I just thought it was rather interesting running into that, I mean, the guy did great. Absolutely did wonderful. So you go. Whatever the story is behind that, I would love to know. Maybe I should contact Poised. Maybe I should contact them and said, did you coach Prince Harry? Would that be too forward to do? Well, actually, we looked at this already. About just the viewership of the speech, and we saw millions around the world were watching that speech. And this has been, I don't know if I've seen this before. Maybe I hadn't paid attention, but it feels like the last week or week and a half, every single day, Harry and Meghan are trending. And I was like, what is happening? I know people, to build up to the speech and all of that, but I don't think I've really ever seen them trend every single day. And, different trends that's attached to them. And I was like, what is happening? So it's been just wild. I don't know if you guys how many of you are on Twitter to notice. And again, maybe I was just not wasn't paying attention, but it's just kind of wild that people would just not leave these two alone. So yeah. Let's see. Carol Padu. Hi, Carol. So glad to see Harry winning. I know. It's so good to see good people win. The bad, lot. They have all these supposed victories and so it's good to see good people have great things happen to them. So I love it. So Sylvia says, Prince Pedal, I took public speaking in college and do some public speaking, and I really liked Harry's cadence in his speech. Well, there you go. A professional public speaker. And thank you, Sylvia. Yes, absolutely. I love that his cadence in his speech. Absolutely. So that's awesome that you do public speaking. That I'm telling you. Kudos and bow down to you, Sylvia. Again, a lot of people would write, they literally did a survey on this. People put public speaking as their biggest fear. They put public speaking ahead of death. That's how much people hate public speaking and are afraid of it. So I just think it's amazing. Karen M says he made excellent eye contact when he gave his speech. Yes, absolutely. Definitely. And I mean, for full disclosure, the the prompters that they read is there, and it's there and clear for that reason. They can look at the audience, they can also read what's on the screen. And so it gives that, if so, that's full disclosure that there were two prompters there. If you watch Barack Obama's speeches, you'll always see them there. They're the clear things that are right in front of them, that the words are there, but it's clear so they can also, be looking out at the audience as well. So I just wanted to, basically full, as I said, full disclosure on that one. So yeah. Let's see. Who else? Annie, hey Annie. Annie says Harry owned that room. He did. He absolutely owned that room. Absolutely. There was just a level of calmness and confidence that you just don't normally, it's like, because we know that he has anxiety, he has performance anxiety. So it's just, I think this is probably the most relaxed I've seen him, and a lot of Meghan's arm strokes and holding hands, I think some of that was probably just to calm him. And that's a big deal. It is a big deal to know you're speaking at the UN, and it's especially for Nelson Mandela, and the online audience would be huge. I mean, that's a lot of pressure. So absolutely. Nana, hi Nana. So well, I don't think I've seen you here before. Welcome. If you have been here and I just don't know it, sorry, but I'm happy you're here. Nana says, these people won't leave Harry and Meghan alone. They were slammed for climate hypocrisy, even after flying commercial. Really? What do they want them to do? Walk from California to New York? Some of them would be happy to know that, for them to do that. It's, again, Harry and Meghan, slamming Harry and Meghan, attacking Harry and Meghan, hating Harry and Meghan is huge business. And we're going to get to that in a second. It is huge business, and a lot of people make a lot of money doing that. So anyways, Dior tweeted about Harry. We were so focused on Meghan's outfit that I don't know about anybody else. I completely forgot what Harry, I didn't know what he was wearing, what brand he was wearing. And it turned out it was Dior. So, Meghan is a Dior baby, and Harry is a Dior baby. They're both in Dior. So Dior tweeted about it. It says, Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, suited up in navy Dior ensemble by Kim Jones to deliver an address to the United Nations General Assembly in New York on International Nelson Mandela Day, and stars in Dior. So yeah, it's so funny. From the photos it looked black, so it's very interesting to know that it's actually navy. So it's so wild when certain fabric and colors, what it looks like under the light, under different lights, that that is very, very different. So I just I'm like, you go Harry in Dior. And I love that Dior is the one that's tweeting it. I was like, see, our stars are in our fabric, in our clothes. And this gentleman on one of our squaddies alerted us to this gentleman. He did Meghan's hair, and it looked beautiful, very simple, pulled back, and just very, very beautiful. So he is on Instagram. It's Huz Hunk Patton, I guess he says it. Don't know, but that's all that's there. And he posted on his Instagram, had the honor of styling the Duchess of Sussex hair today. She is as beautiful inside as she is on the outside. Magnifique. Hair by Huz, and it's Huz Hunk Patton. Okay. But great job. And I love that, she chose a black man to do her hair. And I love it. Normally it's George Norwood, but he is UK bound. And so it's great to see her choosing different people to take care of her hair. I don't know if Danielle did her makeup. She usually used him. But I know when she was in the UK the last time, she used a different lady. So I don't know. About her makeup, but this is her hairstylist. So great job, Huz Hunk Patton. Great, and just really, really cool and simple. Well, this thing, I mean, I was just talking about a second ago about, hate. I mean, just here we go, just a whole right left turn on what we were talking about, all the positive stuff about Harry and his speech. But this popped up on Twitter today, and it's just it's one of those things that really gets to me, and I couldn't help but responding. I mean, a lot of people were responding to him, so it's not just me, but a lot of people were also encouraging him to do something. This gentleman, who is a writer, and so he's worked with the New York Times, he's worked with NBC, The Guardian, Washington Post, The Nation, The Atlantic. So he I think it was one of those celebrities, I forgot what her name is, Patty, I think it was Patricia Arquette, who is a major Meghan fan. And so she's always on Twitter supporting and fighting for Meghan on Twitter. And so she had tweeted something, and this gentleman, Benjamin Ryan, tweeted this. He says, hating Meghan Markle is $1 billion industry. It will never stop. Too many people make a living off it. And so when I saw that, and then after that, he he subtweeted, he just tweeted, again for himself, or retweeted, whatever you call it, his what he had said before. And he says, I am not at liberty to say how, but I have seen the inner workings of the Meghan Markle media hate machine, and disparaging her in the press is a business, pure and simple. It will not stop because it makes people too much money. And I tweeted back at him. I said, honestly, at Benny Ryder, which is his handle, I said, it's time for people to start saying how. It's time for people like you who know the truth to speak up and speak the whole truth about this. What are you waiting for? They're trying to kill Meghan or have her commit suicide because of this, because of this abuse. Please speak. And then and then after he was saying, again, he's not at liberty. I'm like, please take liberty and speak. The only way this changes if people like you who know the truth speak the whole truth and expose this. What do you think the end will be for Meghan if you and others who know the truth do not expose this? What would you do if she was your family? I ran out of space from trying to, say as much as I can. But this is the thing that I think one of the big things that irk me. People are so liberal with lies. They just spout lies on the daily. Yet the people who know the truth are in this position. I am not at liberty to say, oh yeah, I know that it's, I know it's $1 billion industry, and I know that there is a machine going on. Disparaging her is a business and people are making a living. And I have seen that machine work, but I'm not at liberty to say. And if that just irks me so badly, because people like Benjamin Ryan, although I appreciate him tweeting about it, it's people like this why this sort of thing keeps happening, because they know the truth, they have seen the evidence, but they keep quiet. They refuse to do what is right. They refuse to expose it. And yes, I'm glad he's saying that, but somewhere in whether it's Washington Post, whether it's the Atlantic, whether it's wherever it is in the many places he's worked, some one of those organizations, he saw the machine of hating Meghan and making money going. I'm like, this is the time you need to speak up. I don't want vague things about this. This is the time you need to speak up and speak, directly to this and expose this. And encourage others like you who know the truth and who is of the same mind to do this. And so I'm like, that's why this keeps happening. In the UK, it's the same thing. There are many people, especially people, Black and brown people in the UK who are in the press who know what is happening, but are too afraid to speak. And yet this is the same thing with this guy. Yeah, I know, but I'm not at liberty to say. When are you going to say? When are you going to be at liberty? When she dies, God forbid she dies or something? Or something horrible happened to her, somebody attack her? Is that when you're going to feel at liberty to speak? Shouldn't this be now? What if that was your sister or your mother or whatever? Would you be in the same place of, oh, I'm not at liberty to say something? It's like you see the wrong, speak up. For me, I have no tolerance and for this kind of behavior. This is cowardly. It is playing with abuse. It is witnessing abuse. It is witnessing bullying and doing nothing about it. And again, while I appreciate him saying all this, I'm like, it is within your power to act. And if you're not acting, you're part of the problem. And that is how I feel about that. And a lot of people are in the same boat. You know, they're doing this exact same thing. And this really, really, really irks me. You know, but anyway, that was my, it's like, oh, Lord, Lydia, thank you so much for your super sticker. You are always supporting. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. And Lydia is also a 2 cents crew member, but she's always still supporting other outside of that. I appreciate this so much, Lydia. Thank you so much. Let's see. Moving. Oh, Lynn. Let's see. Lynn says, let's do that. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Lynn says, so Meghan is an animal for them to take money off. This is so hurtful. Really, how long will this go on? This campaign to really destroy? Again, that's why I asked him that same question. When are you going to speak up? You know, what is the end game here? Are you going to wait until something, God forbid, something horrible happened, then you speak up? Oh, yeah, I knew about this. You know, what's the end game? And so, yeah, it is very hurtful, Lynn. It is. I totally feel your pain. It is very hurtful to see stuff like that. And knowing that people have the power within them and it's right in their hands to do something about it, to make a difference, to try to make it stop. And they refuse because of cowardice. I really, that really, really irks me. Joanne Baker says, if you're not part of the solution, then you're part of the problem. To do nothing when you know something is wrong, then you are complicit and complacent. Thank you. Thank you, Joanne. Absolutely, that is my conviction. You have just spoken what I feel. Thank you. Because that is exactly the thing. If you have the power in your hand to act and you refuse to act, then you are part of the problem. You are complicit with those who are committing the abuse. I don't care if you write it and you know, say it on Twitter. Act, do something. Sylvia says, Pedro, remember that is why Tina and Michelle could not deal with the UK. Yeah, I just, yeah, totally couldn't deal, because it's like, again, something is within your power to act and you refuse to do something about it. That's why I'm so proud of all of us, like, you know, starting podcasts. I know today, if you haven't, and I'm actually gonna go read it after I'm done here, but the Duchess of Success started her blog today. Today was her first blog post, so definitely, I'm sure she would have put it in her community page, so definitely check her out and support her. We need more platforms and more voices of people speaking out about this, so that, you know, our message would go further. Definitely. Anne says, Pedal, they will not speak out. The industry are making there to make money at any expense. Harry knows the truth. It was done to his mother when she left the firm. Absolutely. Very, 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 very true. Yeah. They won't do it because they're all making money off of the hate. They've all figured out, if we hate Meghan Markle, we have an audience. We have advertisers who would throw their money, especially at YouTube, this very platform. They know that they can do that, and they would get paid for it. and so it's like YouTube would make money off of it. We talk a lot about, say, even network television like NBC, ABC, etc., who are making money off of this stuff, and their snide comments. They are all making money off of this, and so they are they have no obligation to to stop. And so but I think when people like Benjamin know what happens, if they are brave enough to expose it, then we can probably see something change, because these kind of people don't like to be exposed. So, Nagathiramona. I am so sorry if I just said that wrong. I was doing a little phonetics for myself, but welcome. I hadn't seen you before. So welcome. Says, oh my gosh, Meghan comforting and supporting her man was truly inspiring and rather sexy. He's my man visuals. Yeah, I mean, when I saw, of course, some people put negative spin on it as they normally do. But when I saw this, whenever I see her do that, it's exactly what I'm thinking. It's her just calming him and knowing his needs in those moments and being there for him as a calming, a calming presence and a calming hand. Let's see. Denny's Thomas says, you're not considering his precarious position. He might know that his own life could be at stake if he spoke up. You know what? That is very true, Denise. That is absolutely very true. I mean, also there could be job considerations that he can lose his job and all of those things. But I also look at it as, you know what? We're in a place in our world right now where, for me, that is the least of my concern. There, if his life is in jeopardy, then yes, obviously. But if it's something like what I was thinking more, it was a work thing, whatever. I'm like, look, if I had to choose between my job and protecting and saving someone from this incredibly horrific abuse, then the job goes, because this is somebody's life. Well, what are you going to do if, God forbid, something horrible? We're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I wish no. When you see stuff like this, where something could have literally affect someone's life in a deep and horrible way, you drop what you need to do and you serve your brother and sister. That is my conviction, and I make no apologies about it. Unless your life, it's something that your life depending on it. Everything else, no, because someone else's life depend on you standing up and you speaking out. For me, I have makes no apologies about that at all. Anything else is, for me, cowardly. When and especially this kind of thing, this is every single day. Nobody should be having to withstand this kind of thing. No one should have to experience this on the daily. And yet this has been going on every single day of this woman's life. This is not right. It is not right. And people like Benjamin know it's not right. That's why he was tweeting about it. He knows it's not right. He knows something should be done. He just doesn't think he's the one to do it. And he needs to be the one to do it. He has the conviction enough to say it on Twitter. Now it's just, maybe he just needs motivation and encouragement and whatever to take the next step to be able to call things out. And maybe it's a process, because, I just read Omid's article, right? This is a very different, if you've read Omid's articles in the last, year, it's a very, very different tone that he has and what he talks about from when we first encountered Omid, where he was just a sweet reporter, just reporting, nothing big, but of no substance at all. And he wouldn't call people out and speak truth to power. Now, this is a very different Omid, but it's taken that time for him to grow to where he is. So maybe that's where Benjamin is. Maybe he needs some time and encouragement to be able to get. But in the meantime, Meghan is being abused and vilified. She's being, tortured and bullied every single day in the meantime. So what do we do about that? So Anyways, moving on. Oh, another hard turn. So, I mean, we all know about Prince Charles and his cash for access, cash for honors, cash in a shopping bag. 3.2 million pounds of cash given to him in a shopping bag, and we all know that they were not going to do any kind of investigation. I mean, you know, their thing is like, he didn't break any laws, and he's never going to do it again. And at least you would expect the Charity Commission. I mean, this is the same organization that was responsible for cash for access, cash for honors, and yet we have this story about taking cash. Who gives cash? I don't care what period you're in. 3.2 million in cash in a shopping bag and a suitcase. It's unreal to me. But needless to say, the Charity Commission has decided, oh no, they are fine. They've given us what we want, and we trust them that they followed every law. So we're not going to do anything about it. So pretty much this is why I'm not even going to bother reading it, because I know that you guys are like rolling your eyes probably, because I mean, these are the same people, not the Charity Commission, but that's the same people that with a police department that refused to reopen case for Prince Andrew, on Prince Andrew. And so least surprising thing, I would say least surprising that they are not investigating Prince Charles, because he's going to be the king and they don't want to upset the queen or whatever their reasons are. They will not investigate him. So there you go with that. He gets away with his 2.5 million in cash. I'm sorry, 2.9 million pounds. And, people just going to have to suck it up. There you go. Unreal. Absolutely, absolutely unreal. So anyways, let's see. Checking the chat for a little bit. We've been here an hour and 21. I've just been way talking. So I'm gonna wrap it up shortly, but let's check in the chat here for a bit. Mara says, if you decided to be quiet in a situation of injustice, you have chosen the side of the oppressor. Yes, 1,000,000 times yes. 1,000,000 times yes. I think it was it Martin Luther King, or was it Malcolm X, or one of those said this. You are silent when you see injustice. You have chosen the side of the oppressor. And so nobody wants to think that, but by silence, yes, that is exactly what you're doing. And this guy's probably like, I just tweeted something. I didn't need to get all this stuff back, But yeah. Fire 22 Lobby says the UK royals can break the law, and as much as they can and will go free of all blame. Yeah. I mean, especially if it's a queen, the queen can just literally do anything she wants and nobody can go after her, after all the laws that she is like, I cannot believe this woman is immune from all these laws. But yeah, that's how she lives. And no one can go after her. Unreal to me. But anyways, Invictus Games Nigeria tweeted about this, and I'm sure we all remember. There was a tweet earlier with this gentleman in the tweet, so I'm glad to see that they're tweeting out and using pictures of their vets. Invictus Game tweeted says, we are inspired by the love from all over the world. We are also excited for all the thrilling adventures and challenges ahead. We are Invictus Nigeria. So kudos. We are excited to see more. I know that they're not going to be at the games this year, but maybe next year when they're a little bit more trained. So yes, thank you. Thank you, Invictus Nigeria, for this. And I'm glad they're feeling the love. I'm glad they're feeling. So if you are on social media and you have not checked out Invictus Games Nigeria, definitely they're on Twitter. I don't know about Instagram, so you might want to check there to see if they're there. But definitely, if you're on Twitter, definitely give them a follow. and retweet or something, that would really, really, really be awesome. And I couldn't leave without revisiting, just, for no reason at all, just to revisit. I'm like, the woman is amazing. I love Harry's shirt. I love how that fit. And again, this is from a non-fashion person, but I absolutely love this. I mean, this everything is so right about this. And someone mentioned except Prince Harry's shoes, but we will love Prince Harry's shoes no matter what anybody else thinks. I absolutely love it. I mean, this jumpsuit is just, the back is just amazing. So, and again, these pictures are here for no reason other than I just wanted to look at them and just talk about them. So yes, Petal, I agree. The bullying and excuse needs to stop. Meghan is a human being. Is a human being, not a human pinata. She shouldn't be expected to just ignore it and keep going. She has feelings, and that is the thing that people seem to forget or not want to pay attention to, that she is human being. She has feelings, and no one should have to endure that for a minute, less more, for the last 4 years, 5 years. No one should have to put up with that at all. Let's see. Oh, why, thank you, Wilson. What a wonderful week for Ari, Meghan, and all squaddies. Absolutely. We're also smiling. R. Carter says, I love their outing look. I hope they were comfortable with what they chose to wear. Of course, I'm sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think Meghan is all about comfort. So definitely, Harry, guys are all about comfort anyway. So anyway, again, I just wanted to look at it for no particular reason whatsoever. Moving on. Thank you, Better Up, for a wonderful quote or statement, or however you want to say it. But they Better Up posted this, and I love it. It says, no matter how you define thriving in your life, the path to get there starts with one thing. It starts with looking inward. Again, no matter how you define thriving in your life, the path to getting there starts with one thing. It starts with looking inward. And I am so happy that Harry and Meghan are with Better Up, that they have this kind of coaching in their life, this kind of encouragement, this kind of, I mean, I don't know how you survive what they have been going through with, if they didn't have this kind of support, really helping them to be able to, focus on their mental health and get the help they need on the daily. Like Meghan said, that kind of thing is it's unsurvivable. And so I am just so happy. One of the things that I'm also happy as with them, and I hope they keep doing it, is that the silence that they are treating with silence, it doesn't matter what media is, a US media, international media, they are not responding. And they have completely, and I hope they just shut off all news and all of those things. I hope they just keep it off and just simply live their life and just not deal with any of it, not respond to anybody trying to get response for any of the nonsense that is being printed and will be printed about them. So I am just happy, and I hope that they keep it that way. Terry Crawford, hello Terry. Terry says, Terry says, Patel, I like that. It's not going to end like they think. The NAACP get involved, and it's going to blow up. It's not all about Meghan. No, it's definitely not all about Meghan. I mean, all of us, it's an attack on her. It's an attack on Black women, women of color. It's just, she is the face of it right now, and she's getting the brunt, and they're using her name and a likeness. So she's on the forefront of and getting the full force effect of all their hate and negativity going at her. Again, she is a human being. Nobody should have to go through any of that. Nobody should have to feel that and have to deal with any of that mess. And I mean, they have worked with the NAACP before. I mean, they were at the, the awards, and they also teamed up with the NAACP to give out awards. Honestly, I wish they would speak up more on this issue in terms of Meghan. I would love to see them speak out more about it. I know, Martin Luther King's daughter, Bernice, I think her name is, always supports Meghan and always speak out on behalf of her. And I hope more and more people keep doing that. So yeah. So, Petal, what do you think of Meghan McCain joining the Harry and Meghan bashing wagon? Well, it's exactly what we just talked about a minute ago with the gentleman talking about hating Meghan is a $1 billion business. That's what it is. It's an over $1 billion business. And when she was on The View, she's pretended like she was supporting Meghan, and now she's working with the Daily Mail. What did you work with the Daily Mail? One of the I guess the things what you have to do there is you have to bash Meghan, especially, and Harry. It's part of the Daily Mail thing. So if you're going to take a job with the Daily Mail, you're going to expect that would be part of your job. So am I surprised to see Meghan McCain attacking Harry and Meghan? No. She's a rent them out, as most of the British British reporters are. They're rent them out. They whatever job they go, they pay you to say what they want. To say what they want. They have a narrative, and they pay you to take that narrative out to wherever your voice reaches. And so no, am I surprised with Meghan? I mean, if you're in the U.S. and Meghan McCain and know about Meghan McCain, this is like the least surprising thing. I mean, this is who she is. She is a nasty, mean-spirited person. I mean, if you're on Twitter, the press secretary, I'm so sorry, not the press secretary, but the campaign, I guess the guy who led Meghan McCain's father's campaign, John McCain's campaign when he was trying to run for president. Meghan McCain had been attacking him for years, and finally he spoke up for the first time in how many years that she's been attacking him for no reason. And he went on a Twitter tirade on her and exposed her in the worst way. Even her parents didn't have a nice thing to say about Meghan McCain. When this man went and complained to Meghan McCain's mother, Cindy McCain, Cindy McCain's response was like, at least I raised two wonderful sons. She couldn't even muster, anything not good to say about Meghan. Now, after this guy blasted her, then, I saw something where she, Cindy McCain was saying that, Meghan was a good mother, whatever. And people were commenting, and she was saying that her granddaughter is beautiful and she has a beautiful daughter. And everybody was commenting to her, it's like, yes, your granddaughter is beautiful. Your daughter is horrible. This is Meghan McCain. She's a horrible, horrible human being. So, and again, when she was in The View, she was pretending to support the Sussexes. If you're working for the Daily Mail, this is what you are. That's what they do. If you look at any Black woman or man working for the Daily Mail, writing for the Daily Mail, and they give them something, anything with the Sussexes, expect that it's going to be negative. They also had a Black reporter. I don't know if she's still there. And she was writing negative things about Meghan. So yeah, it's just unreal. They are rent them out. They are rented to say what the tabloid want them to say. That's what they do. Joan says she need to be noticed and she can't keep telling people that her father is John McCain. That's another thing. Exactly. That's one of the things. She was blasted up with the guy. If everything, any situation is always, do you know who my father is? Her whole existence is based on her father, John McCain. And while John McCain, again, even that guy who worked with John McCain throughout his campaign, and John McCain, he's sold to us as this hero. Yes, he was you can term him, say, a war hero because he was captured and put in prison and then released. I think he was in Saigon. I think it was where he was captured and then was released. But it turns out John McCain, yes, he's on that side, he's a hero. But according to this guy, John McCain was also working with Russia. So while, I'm like, well, no wonder they couldn't call Trump out on anything, because John McCain was right up in there as well. So this fake hero person that we're supposed to believe was this hero was also in Russia's pocket. So when one of the things we were always questioning is, John McCain's integrity, because so many things where Trump would have all of these things, he was always supporting Trump in all of these bills that was going through the Senate. He was always there supporting it. And the one or two times that he didn't, it was like, oh yeah, John McCain. But the rest of the times he was going along with the rest of Republicans supporting Donald Trump's agenda. And I was just like, so when I heard about his involvement and that he was also one of them who was in Russia's pockets, I'm like, oh, well, that makes total sense. That makes total sense. So it's, they are so corrupt. But yes, anyway, sorry, don't mean to go off on with Meghan McCain, but Lord, yes, thank you. Steve Smith was John McCain's campaign manager. And again, if you are on Twitter, thank you, Lisa. If you are on Twitter, I don't know if his handle is Steve Schmidt. I would think it is, but look, or just Google or something. Steve Schmidt, who pretty much went off on Meghan McCain, and you will see, this incredibly long thread. He was like, I got time for you right now. I'm going to respond to you after all these years of abuse. I'm going to respond to you, and then I'm going to have my lawyer give you a cease and desist so you can never say my name again, or something like that, he said. I don't think she ever responded, because he went after her in the worst way. So I would say look it up, so that and I'm sure a lot of media covered it as well, so you can probably see it. You could probably read through his threads against Meghan McCain. I've never heard peep out of her ever since. So yeah, he was not playing with her. He's the one that revealed, what a lying, conniving, horrible person John McCain was as well. To the point where Steve Schmidt said he lost respect for him. And so it was unreal. Unreal. He got two reported discredited who revealed that he was having an affair, and he basically called him a liar and stuff like that. And now also Steve Schmidt was part of that, because they were trying to protect John McCain and Cindy McCain. But he also apologized to the reporters that they discredited, basically called them liars. So unreal. But anyways, let's get off Meghan McCain nonsense. Back to Better Up. Better Up. I know I was like ending with my motivation, but Better Up again. And no matter what we do, how you define thriving in your life, the path to getting there, starting with one thing, it starts with looking inward. And I hope a lot of people will start looking inward. So Valerie is reminding me, yes, allegedly. I'm just quoting what Steve Schmidt said. You can't come at me for just quoting or saying what Steve Schmidt said. That is what he said. He was there. He didn't say allegedly. He said that's what happened. So that's what he said. I am just saying what Steve Schmidt said happened, because, again, he was party to it. He was a part of it. And he pretty much just exposed it. So, yes. But allegedly. Thank you, Valerie. Keep lawyers away from our podcast. Anyways, I wanted to do this a while ago, and I didn't get a chance to do it. And I just wanted to say thank you to all our wonderful 2 Cents crew. And we have more. Of course, we have a new person came tonight, V. Thank you so much. But to all of our 2 Cents crew members who have been supporting us monthly, I just wanted to recognize you guys. Thank you so much for your support. I have a lot more people that I'm going to bring in, because a lot of you support us not through this. You do either the PayPal, you either do Cash App, you do the super stickers. Some of you have done that thanks, the super thanks. That's the little $ and the heart. Some of you support us that way as well. So I'm going to bring all of that in on another one. But here, I just wanted to start with our 2 Cents Crew members. Thank you all so much. Right Church, Wrong Pew, Delcina, Ethne, Ruth, Iris, Dina, Pele, NRB, H Knight, Evelyn B, Lydia Washington, who was one of the first people who signed up. Thank you, Lydia. She's been like 4 months as a 2 Cents Group member. Thank you so much. Elaine Parker, Valerie, Therese, Sonia, Andrea, Maverick 7226, Miss Monroe, Nanao, Janet Pickering, Sharon Lambert, Karen I, Bright Ice BBJ, Kathy J, Kay Casillo, Daniel Medical, and Patrick Koa. Thank you so much for your support, to helping us to keep going. I mean, appreciate you so much for doing that. And so again, next podcast I will be bringing in and thanking you guys. I just wanted to recognize you. I'm telling you, this is the least I could do. So thank you so much for your support. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I know it kind of ran a little bit later than I was thinking. And we got things to do, places to go, catch our Z's and all of those wonderful things. But thank you so much for hanging out and being with me tonight as we talk Sussex is. So again, just as we just mentioned, if you're interested in supporting us, I'm gonna put up my little banner thing that's not scrolling, so it's just gonna plop there like big and just there we go. So a little bit of a lag. But if you haven't, first of all, if you haven't subscribed and you're here and you like our content, please go ahead and subscribe and click the notification bell so that you know when we drop a video. Again, as we just looked at the 2 Cents Crews there, that's where you support us monthly. Much appreciated for all of you again who have been supporting us. And also please like and share the video. Share it with your friends. That you can see a little clippy, the scissor at the bottom of your video. You can clip a part of the podcast and share it. And they'll also link back to the video if they want to come and see it. So please feel free to take advantage of that tool. Also, again, if you're interested in supporting us, no obligation. You can join our 2 Cents Crew. We also have Cash App, we have PayPal. Again, the little $ in the heart. It says super thanks that I think is right next to the scissor. That's there. There's another way you can do it. We do have merchandise as well. The link to all of this is in the show notes. So if you want to support us that way, thank you guys so much. I'm just gonna put up my little here is our little merchandise, or Facts and 2 Cents merchandise. So again, no obligation, but thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. We're gonna head out of here with some music. Thank you, our awesome moderators, Lydia, Church Nelly, Karen M, Cookies and Cream. Thank you guys so much. And I will let's get some Inner Space to end it. Inner Space. Where are you? Yeah, Siri's got Inner Space. There we go. All right. Thank you guys. Have a good night. Sleep tight. Don't bed. Well, I don't want to say bed bugs, but anyways, I was gonna say don't let the bed bugs bite, but that's horrible. So let's not think about that. Bye, everyone. Bye, Ma Jones and Gwendolyn and Lynn and Lorna and Sister Ann. And let's see who else is here. Angela, that I didn't say hello to. Carol Perdue. Bye, Wendy and Faith. Faith U01 and Y Gordon, RR, Joyce, Beverly, Cynthia, Wilson, Janet, and I, Rhonda, Wilson. Good night. Let's see who else is here. Joan, and I said Rhonda already. Mira, Cinderella, And if I if I missed anyone, you can yell at me in regular comments. Have a great night, guys. I love you. I will see you next time. Bye.